countdown is on to their meeting in the ring.
Wow.
But the story of their journey there was anything but complete.
Yeah.
As the two best fighters in the world risk everything for history.
Is there a fighter in the world that can beat Bud Crawford? I ain't came across him yet. Everything happened for a reason, and I truly and firmly believe the reason for me to be in this situation right now is to become 3-time undisputed champion of the world.
I'm here in boxing to make history, and winning for me means a lot in this fight because he's one of the best in the last 15 years. He accomplished a lot and I accomplished a lot, and I think it's a perfect match.
I was excited, but I wasn't like, oh, I beat Spence, or I did it. It was something that I already knew what was gonna happen. I just needed the opportunity to show everyone.
He is willing to take a risk. This is literally uncharted territories for Terrence Crawford.
I don't care. He can weigh 200. That's gonna be bad on him.
Don't let anyone tell you that the weight doesn't matter. It makes this a monumental accomplishment for Crawford.
Putting on muscle don't actually mean that you're gonna be slower, but you punch a little harder.
Yeah, now I feel it. It's different. When we spar, it's a whole different. But now he got the power. He's always had power, but now it's a different power, man. And he still got the speed and the movement and agility is crazy, man. So his movement ain't nothing changed, man. They gonna see. They gonna see, man. I wish it was September 12th right now. It'll be tomorrow. But we got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks from tomorrow. Everybody's gonna see. It's gonna be groundbreaking. It's gonna be something like spaceship landed on Earth.
Crawford's sparring buddy says that things look very different this time. You can move, fight, and speed up even more. Right now, Canelo is going straight into that storm, to a fight that could shake the sport like never before. In the meantime, Crawford's teacher, Spike, stepped in with his own bold promise. He said, "Everything will work. There will be no problems at all. He has a good weight. His legs are fine. He thinks a lot. Our task is now complete. Things will work out." It wasn't just trust. Because of the music, I felt safe. Everything has already been changed, even the way you think and how much you weigh. Spike's words made you feel like it was the calm before the storm. There didn't seem to be any room for chance. It's not just Crawford that Canelo has to worry about. He likes people who believe that fate has already been decided. And when that bell rings, the world might see a night that changes the chances in the ring. Spikes then kept everyone in mind that size isn't the only thing that matters here.
Now, first and foremost, Canelo is a smart fighter. Like, people are more concerned looking at the size, but Canelo is an intelligent boxer. There's always a method to what he's doing. So let me just make that clear. We're not going in there just looking at size. Canelo is smart. Canelo set traps. He has good timing, solid defense. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's respect given to Canelo and everything that he's accomplished. He's seen every style. He's overcome a lot of obstacles that he's been faced with. So I don't want the narrative, you know, I see that the narrative is size, but Canelo is a smart fighter in his own right. However, like I told you before, our IQ, our toolbox, same situation I told you last time. Picking the right tool at the right time is going to beat this guy. We're prepared for every situation possible, whether it's on the rope, center of the ring, wherever you want to put it. We're prepared for any and every scenario come fight night.
His mind was tough, and he knew about Canelo's timing, defense, tricks, and other skills that make opponents weaker before they are knocked out. On the other hand, Spikes made it clear that they had raised Crawford's ability to the point where he could do that job and more. In this fight, it's not just muscle against muscle. An IQ fight is going on between two IQs. Also, it only takes one mistake for two geniuses to fight and change everything. That's where the real risk is. We can say that Fight Night has the power to change things in strange ways because of this. Spikes was sure it wasn't true, but he went on to name Canelo's coaches.
I mean, we can't be worried about what he's doing. He's doing the right thing to get the best guys to try to get him prepared. I mean, he should be taking Bud serious. I hope he's not taking Bud lightly. So, I mean, obviously he's taking his camp serious and getting good guys in there to push him. I mean, we got good guys in there to push us. We're crossing our T's and dotting our I's. It doesn't matter what he does over there. And at the same time, a lot is made due about sparring. And just overall, like 16 ounces in headgears is different than 10 ounces and under the lights. So with that being said, I'm not concerned about, and our team, we're not concerned about who we sparring with, this and that and other. That's why I made the joke on Twitter. Well, I hope the odds swing in his favor since he's working with Boots and everybody think that that's such a huge advantage for him. Okay, so I was just making a little joke about it, and I'm serious at the same time. So
he didn't care about who was on the other side. It was very important to know who was in their own room. They think Crawford is ready for anything that could happen. There were no hats or excuses, just the truth in the bright lights. Many people may be better at practicing, but that doesn't mean they can tell what will happen in the ring. Spike sounded like a man who was sure of how his team was set up. Some people thought Crawford was already ahead of plan because of this. The conversation then moved on to history and the idea that skill can erase size.
You know what, these type of fights is usually people look at it as like the smaller fighter usually has to box and move. A lot of people draw in comparison to like Leonard and Hagler or any type of other fighter moving up. And the big key of it is speed. Is there truth behind all that? I know that speed's always a component of all of it, but more than normal because of the fact that?
I'm going to say styles make fights. Styles make fights. Littler guys with more skill have beaten bigger guys over the years. Like it's happened. Like you said, Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. You could say when Michael Spinks moved to heavyweight, he was a light heavyweight champion. Evander Holyfield was a light heavyweight cruiserweight champion. Usyk is a smaller guy. It's not a natural, I mean, he's grown into the weight now, but he's beating bigger guys with his boxing skill. I mean, it goes on and on. Skills pay the bills at the end of the day. It's just about being prepared, having a good game plan, and having the right dog in the race. You know what I mean? And that's what matters.
From Leonard to Usyk, the story has been the same. The Giants are scared of guys who are smart and short. Spikes told everyone, it's not math. You should be skilled, brave, and aware of when to act. Canelo is very smart, but he doesn't follow the rules about weight and reach. It's not just for fighting that Crawford is there. He will change the story. Also, history shows that amateurs can beat giants if they have the right tools. That cloud is now over Canelo. Spikes then showed that fighting wasn't always easy.
Madrimov was a tricky style. He did a lot of feints. He wasn't committing. He was very patient. You know, this is a completely different style from what Canelo's going to bring. So, you know, Madrimov gave us a little bit of difficulty. He came to win. He came prepared, but we overcame the obstacle. You know, and that's just that. That's in the past, and you know we're looking towards Canelo.
Because Madrimov was smart, they had to look into things more, make changes, and polish everything. It was both a test and a warning that you have to get past problems to be successful. But that problem only made Crawford more determined to move forward. It won't take Canelo long to decide what to do. He is going to bring fire. The fire will also show what Crawford really did to get ready. From what Spike said, it sounded like the storm they were practicing in was just a sign of things to come. Then the subject of Canelo's past losses came up. Besides that, Spikes was frank.
Canelo, you guys will be facing?
I can't say. Okay. I can't get into that. But I'm going to say that I love Bivol. I love Dimitri Bivol. He's one of my favorite fighters. He lost to a hell of a fighter. He lost to a future Hall of Famer. And you know, that's just that. There's nothing I can really say about that. He didn't lose to a regular guy. He lost to a pound for pound elite fighter and a bigger guy at that. So, I mean, that's not much that I can really say about that. But as far as his improvements, he's shown some things, but you know, we'll see us exploit him on Fight Night.
Even though Spikes made sure to show that Canelo's loss was due to skill rather than weakness, it was clear that Canelo had lost to Spikes. There was respect, but fear is not the same thing as respect. They looked at Canelo's growth and all the changes that happened after that. It was also said by Spike that the same progress would lead to new possibilities. Fight Night tonight will be about who is in charge of the present, not the past. Spikes also said that Crawford might be that man. Spikes then cleared up a big misunderstanding about the fight. It wasn't that big.
One of the bigger guys since he was 14, 15 years old. So size doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's a skill. It's what you got up here and it's what you got here. Everything else will fall into play.
He doesn't believe in size at all. A Crawford broke a long time ago. For as long as he can remember, he has never been afraid to fight bigger, stronger people. The most important things are what's in the heart and head. There, not on the scales, is where the real fight is. Spikes told Canelo that his weight won't help him when his skills take over. There's also a chance that the smaller man can hit harder in that ring. Before he left the room, Spikes made Canelo a scary promise.
One thing for sure, is Canelo is going to feel his power. Canelo is going to respect Bud Crawford. He's not going to be able to just walk through him and whatever he thinks. You know what I mean? Bud is a very strong fighter. He's a very good puncher. And like I said before, this is going to be the key in this. Punching power, speed, timing, all that's good. But it's a mental game. This is what's going to carry us through that night.
From the moment they put on gloves, Canelo will know that Crawford is not someone to be trifled with. Power, timing, and speed are all trained so that even the strongest defender can't stop them. For some reason, Spikes trusts his mind more than his hands. With that, Nelson changed the subject right away and told the crowd why this was their first time seeing Canelo fight. You have to stop and listen to what he has to say because he sounds so sure of himself.
People gotta understand, man, like every fight is different. There's so many perspectives and so many things that go on. And not to reveal everything, but that fight was that fight. This fight for Canelo, man, like, it's not Fight Night yet, but him moving up, people are going to be surprised. Dude is not like, it's not like he's a small guy and he just put on a whole bunch of weight. Like, but he's a bigger friend. He always been bigger. He always had to cut down. He always had to cut down to them weights. So now he gets the difference from this fight is he won't have to cut down. He just go in the ring. You look at all this weights for all the other fights, it's 168, 170. So when he fought 154, he was like 170, 172 going in the ring. So he gonna go in there the same way this fight. But he's strong, man. He's strong.
Crawford won't be even close to the favorite going into the race. This kind of Bud won't hold back or empty. Someone who gives their all in the ring. Nelson talked about a man who was made for this time and this weight. What a nasty surprise it could be for Canelo if he thinks his height will help him. The anxiety grows with each word because we won't know until the first punch is thrown. Then everyone will understand how important this fight is. Nelson later told more personal things about Crawford, including a side of him that most people will never see. Man, it wasn't just words, it was history.
Bud been sparring since I've been boxing. But even before I spar, Bud always sparred bigger guys. You know, he's Lester Martinez and other heavyweights and light heavyweights and middleweights, where he can get, man. He always hold himself down. He always hold his ground, man. And people just don't know until they get in the ring, and they always say, just like Arrow said, man, Bud power is real. It's real, man. And it's like, people say what he can and shouldn't and couldn't and haven't been. Like, that's what makes people great. Anybody that's ever been great, they always did something that people didn't expect.
Correct.
And that's going to be Bud. He's going to do something that nobody is expecting. A lot of people is expecting are real supporters, but a lot of people who's a doubters are going to be like, dang, Or they gonna come up with excuses like always.
Right away, Bud pushed himself against giants in the gym, fighting with men who were much bigger and stronger than him. There is now trust, and it all began there with the steel. Nelson's advice was very important. You have to go against the grain to really be great. There have always been doubts about Crawford, though sometimes they were shut down. Nelson said, the silence could shake the sport this time as well. Then Andre Ward took over, drawing on his own experience of moving up in weight classes. Things changed a lot after he told them what was going on with Crawford.
Initial conversation was warranted. He's really moving up 3 weight classes since his last fight at 147 with Errol Spence roughly about 2 years ago. So it's really a 3 weight class jump. I think what people have to understand, and I had to understand this when I moved up to face Sergey Kovalev, I went and I consulted with Mackie Shields. And I kept using the phrase, I'm moving up in weight, I'm moving up in weight. I gotta get my body ready to move up in weight. He said, have you seen the scale lately? Have you looked at your body scan lately? And I think at that time I was like maybe 185, 188. He said, you're not moving up in weight, you're just cutting less. And that was like, man, that was transformative for me because I looked and I was like, man, you're right. So technically I'm moving up weight classes, or a weight class in my case, but I'm really not moving up in weight. I'm just not having to boil myself down. So
it's not about getting bigger or adding weight. The goal was to finally get off the cut. It was clear to Ward that Crawford isn't carrying anything. He's going down. This man is not going to unknown territory. This is how a guy should be. That kind of difference is very important before the bell rings, because your mind fights without any doubt when your body is whole. Crawford is someone Canelo will have to deal with. Ward went on. He talked about the reasons Crawford might be smarter and stronger now than he was before.
Stronger, and I think he's going to have better endurance. Not being able to boil himself down like that, and even though it is a huge jump, I think we lose sight of the fact of how much he had to boil down and how gaunt he looked at 140, and even quickly at 147. It got to the point where you start to cut into muscle mass. If you know anything about weight loss, at a certain point, that affects you in a boxing ring. Boxing, maybe wrestling, and MMA are the only sports where you have to tear yourself down for two months or 3 months, not just the training, but the weight loss. And then you have less than or right around 24 hours to put it back on, and then you need to go be great the next night. Everybody else gets to play or compete at their walking around weight or their playing weight. So I think that's gonna favor Terrence Crawford, is not having to boil down 25 or 20. It's probably gonna be about 10 to 12.
It is no longer a never-ending job to boil down. I'm done peeling my muscles. No more getting tired at the battle. Fighters train in ways that push them to their limits. But Ward told everyone that most athletes compete at their normal weight. Crawford has lived that life before and is now putting it behind. He changes into a new animal that is stronger, more alive, and can fight for longer. In addition, combining new stamina with experience is a dangerous mix. That's the man Ward sees waiting for Canelo. Ward looked Canelo straight in the eye and said something scary.
A couple of things are true. I think number one, I think Father Time is catching up to Canelo, but it's subtle. A little less punch output than normal. Maybe the reflexes have weaned just a little bit, but he's still better than most fighters in the world today. I don't think the Skull fight was a matter of age. I think Canelo Alvarez is extremely crafty, not just in the ring, but up here. And it's similar to a football team scrimmaging early in preseason. I'm not pulling out the playbook. I'm gonna give you some mundane vanilla plays. We'll run some power left or some power right. We'll do a couple of slants. We'll show a little bit, but when we play you in the season, it's not gonna be the same guy that you saw. So if people think that they're getting the Canelo Alvarez that fought Scrub, they're sadly mistaken. I think Canelo did just what he had to do. But when you face a real threat and you're a great fighter, you elevate mentally, psychologically, physically, because you have to. Canelo Alvarez is going to be different come September 13th.
He hinted at something in a subtle way. Even when time is running out, there is always one more way to do things better. Ward made it clear that winners don't show their whole hand until it's time to fight. even though Canelo may look slower in some fights. And Crawford will be stronger and have more energy when he fights Canelo. That's where the danger is. Not in the things we can see, but in the things we can't. Based on what Ward said, it sounds like neither the old nor the faded Canelo will be on show in September. We have never seen Canelo fight like this before, so Crawford needs to be ready for it. After talking about the subtle differences between greatness and decline, the subject turned to another famous boxing voice. Adam Smith had his own point of view, which was based on a lot of information.
Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts, a southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong super middleweight, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo, but is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as is coming out.
Besides the physical training, he said that choosing practice partners, like asking Jaron Ennis, could make the build-up more exciting. Canelo used his switch-hitting style to answer Fedora's question about whether he really needed his good looks. He made it seem like it might have been more of a show than a strategy, showing how important psychological benefits are even before the first blow is thrown. This match is about more than just belts. It has to do with memory. Canelo Alvarez is strong, has knowledge, and has a record. He weighs 168 pounds. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, has something just as dangerous on him. It is important to be quick, smart, and want to amaze everyone. The fight is more than just a fight because of all of those things. It could be a turning point in boxing history. What do you think? Do you still think Canelo has what it takes to be king even though he is 168 years old? Or will Crawford's speed, fun, and hunger help him make up for his weight? Will Crawford's fight with Canelo be the end of an era or the start of a new one? Feel free to write your ideas in the space below the comments. Remember to join our channel so you can see more movies like this one. Don't miss the event that's coming up.